Honorable Men Discord, Testosterone War. Let's talk about it. So this topic is very interesting to me. I'll be honest with you, it's a little bit humorous, entertaining, but I love it. I love it. What exactly am I talking about when I say testosterone war? Well, the U.S. sent 2 military planes filled with migrants to Colombia. And at the time of this recording, I'm in Colombia. So this is why I thought this was interesting. The U.S. sent 2 military planes filled with migrants back to Colombia. Colombia denied those planes. They did not let those planes land. They said, no, we don't want you to land your planes. Now, I don't know. I believe the planes left from California, if I'm not mistaken. In any regard, Colombia, from New York to Colombia is 5 hours. I don't know how much flight hours that is if the military planes are leaving from California, but I will say this. I can't imagine what it must be like for the migrants, for the pilot, and whatever other crew members on the plane. Maybe there was some military aid that was on the plane to make sure nothing got out of control. But I can't imagine what it must be like to sit on that plane for however many hours. You get to Colombia and you're getting correspondence from their watchtower saying, no, you can't land. And then now you're probably sending messages back to the U.S., to the respective people in charge of those flights. And they're sending messages to President Trump. And they have to report that, oh, Colombia is saying we can't land. So now we have to head back to the U.S. First of all, I don't know how that works. I don't know how much fuel it takes for a military plane. I don't know the model of the military plane. But that just sounds completely insane to me. You fly for that many hours across the ocean to be told you can't land. Not even like, oh, you can land, but you're going to have to go back up and, But I get it. They wouldn't want the U.S. to land because they'll just open the doors and let people out. I get that. All of this sounds humorous. Now, forgive me for making light of this because there's human lives involved in this. So it's not humorous for those people. But it's the energy of testosterone. You have Donald Trump basically, for lack of a better word, throwing individuals on a plane. Whether he's right or wrong, if they're migrants that are wreaking havoc throughout the country, by all means, they deserve to be on that plane. But I could only assume that the plane has a mixture of violent migrants and those that really just tried to get into the country to better their lives. Now, this video is not about their rights and what I think on that. This is mainly about the testosterone struggle that ensued between the U.S. and Colombia. So now, since I found out this information about the plane being denied, President Gustavo of Colombia, I want to say an hour ago from what I just saw, not from when you're seeing this video, but an hour ago said that he would send his presidential plane to get the migrants. He doesn't want the American plane, the American military plane. Again, this is a battle of testosterone. Trump and his constituents are seeing this as a victory, mainly because either way, Colombia is going to accept its people. Now, to my understanding, President Trump threatened to put a tariff on Colombia if they didn't accept their people back, right? Now, this is very interesting to me, and I'm not well versed in this, but it's interesting to me because to load up 2 planes, I can only imagine how many people. I don't know the number of people, first of all, that was heading back to Colombia. But now, granted, it's not the U.S.'s responsibility either. So I don't know how those people came over. But imagine being Colombia where it's like, what are we supposed to do with these people all at once? In the same regard, the U.S. is saying the same thing. But what are we supposed to do with them? This is like a ping pong frenzy or spectacle with human lives, right? again, this is not about the human lives, and I don't want to make light on those people's lives and the misery they're going through, sitting on a plane, not knowing what's going on with them, with their lives and their future. But President Trump and his cabinet are viewing this as a victory because since President Trump threatened to make a tariff against Colombia, Colombia's president is now saying he'll send a presidential plane, his presidential plane, to the U.S. to pick up the migrants. Now, I don't know what to make of that. So, well, maybe it's, I don't know what to make of that, because if the U.S. was already sending 2 military planes over, at the time when the president of Colombia, Gustavo, decided to say, all right, since President Trump said he's going to possibly make a tariff in response to me saying no to his planes landing, I'm going to send my plane over. My thing is, when that decision was made, and I'm saying this rhetorically, was the U.S. plane still en route back to the U.S.? Because it's like a waste of time. It's a waste of fuel. The pilots for the U.S. military planes must be like, what? For all of that, we might as well turn back around and you know, because now the U.S. has to return those 2 planes with those people in it and maybe set up temporary camps for those people, temporary housing, and now wait for a plane coming from Colombia sent by Colombia's president. This is very interesting and hilarious to me as far as the plane situation, not the misery of the people. The plane situation and the public display of testosterone is hilarious to me. And I'm all for it. I'll be honest with you, I'm all for it. Listen, you saw in one of my videos, I had a MAGA hat on, and for me, the MAGA hat, the relevance of the MAGA hat to me just represents I support someone being firm in their convictions, whatever that may be. Again, is Trump perfect? Absolutely not. There's not a perfect man alive. No man, hear me out. No man or woman is perfect. Let's start there. All right. So if you're looking for the perfect candidate, you're never going to find one. All right. You're going to find candidates from both parties that represent certain values that you may identify with, but never will you ever find someone that's perfect. You can forget about that. So this is not about, oh, how could you wear a MAGA hat because all those things that Trump has done during his presidency, before his presidency. That's not what this is about. I'm all for someone who's firm. One thing I'm tired of, and I believe many other Americans are tired of, and which is why Trump is back in office, is we're tired of the shenanigans and the BS. All right, you know, we respect the fact that Trump, being that he's already wealthy, he didn't step into office with any gaps in his armor to be compromised. Compromised for what? He has money already. You can't compromise him with money. You can't. So President Trump stepped into office already with balls. He's had balls, as far as I know, since the first time he was in office. Now, is he the best public speaker? No. Again, is he perfect? No. Again, no man is perfect. I'm not perfect. So what are we talking about here? Let me get back to this topic of the planes flying back and forth. So I'm assuming there will be no tariff placed on Colombia because the president said he's going to send a presidential plane over, which I don't know if he's doing that as a sign to show like, oh, you're not going to land military planes treating my people like garbage. Maybe that's the signal. Maybe that's the public image he's sending, which I can respect that because as a president of Colombia, perception is everything. In politics, period, perception is everything. So for President Gustavo of Colombia to say he's going to send his presidential plane, that was the people in his cabinet are very smart. They're like, you have to do something so that people know that you're a man that love your people, that supports your people no matter what. You know, now Does he really support some of the bad migrants that are being shipped back over? Absolutely not. But he's actually doing an excellent job by sending a presidential plane, right? Rather than him sending, I don't even know if Colombia has military planes of the caliber of the U.S. military planes, but the fact that he's sending Colombia presidential plane, it's sort of saying like, my people are valued. How dare you send my people back in military planes like they're trash? That's what I get from this. That's the take I get from what he's doing with sending the presidential plane. But now what's left to be seen is when that plane arrives, is it one plane? Is it large enough to take all the people that the U.S. was sending over in two planes? Or is it two presidential planes? What does that look like? I'm looking forward to staying tuned to see how that plays out. But I thought that was very, very interesting, and I'm all for it. I love it. 2 thumbs up for President Trump. And I'll give 2 thumbs up to President Gustavo of Colombia, because he didn't back down. He let his, for lack of a better word, he let his balls hang. He said, you know what? No, you're not landing your planes. Who do you think you are? I'm a president too. President Trump is flexing. He's most certainly flexing, and I'm all for it, because I don't know if anyone else would have done something like this. Not Barack, not Kamala, not Biden. So Trump, I'm loving it. So salute to the entire United States. I'm loving it. Salute to Colombia. Respect to the migrants. They're human beings. To those that are wreaking havoc in the streets, who came to the U.S. to wreak havoc and that are going back to Colombia to wreak havoc. Justice. May you see justice. Let me put it like that. May they see justice. But for those that came over to the U.S. just trying to make a better life for their family, I wish them the best in Colombia. Unfortunately, they got to go back. But wow, what a series of events since the inauguration. I'm all for it. I'm locked in. As the news reports come in, I'll continue to report. I appreciate all of you, as always, for tuning in. If you watch this thing to the end, I salute you even further. You get a standing salute. Normally I'm sitting down when I salute, but for those of you that are locked in, that are subscribed to my channel, they're with me. For those of you that are with me on this journey, I stand and I salute you. Actually, let me stand right now. Let me lift this up and stand. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, salute. I appreciate you. Tell a friend to like, share, subscribe. And as always, stay locked in, and I'll continue releasing content. Take care.